Here's a hard truth for Steelers fans. Their defense just got outplayed by Joe Flacco. Again. Yes, you read that right. The Cincinnati Bengals' 33-31 victory over Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football wasn't just a loss. It was a painful reminder of Mike Tomlin's long-standing fears about Flacco, who now holds a 13-13 record against the Steelers, including postseason games. But here's where it gets controversial. Was Tomlin's paranoia about Flacco justified, or did it paralyze his team? Let's dive in. As Flacco conducted a post-game interview with Prime Video, Steelers fans in the stands chanted, "Thank you, Cleveland," a sarcastic nod to the Browns trade that sent Flacco to Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Tomlin likely had his own thoughts about Cleveland, and they probably weren't grateful. Just a week after joining the Bengals, Flacco dismantled Pittsburgh's defense, throwing for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns with a passer rating of 108.6. And yes, he even scrambled for a first down in the fourth quarter, a play that will haunt Steelers fans for weeks. But here's the part most people miss. Tomlin's concerns about Flacco weren't just hype. Weeks earlier, he'd voiced unease about Flacco and Anthony Richardson ahead of the Dublin game. When Cleveland traded Flacco to Cincinnati, Tomlin's worry turned into full-blown paranoia. The Steelers played like they were facing Joe Montana, not Joe Flacco, and the result? Flacco looked like a hybrid of Burrow, Namath, and Montana himself. Jamar Chase, meanwhile, channeled his inner Jerry Rice, catching 16 passes for 161 yards and a touchdown. Even T. Higgins chipped in with a game-winning field goal setup. And this is where it gets even more frustrating for Steelers fans. Their run defense, which had shown improvement in recent weeks, collapsed. The Bengals, who entered the game with the NFL's worst rushing offense, 56.7 yards per game, ran for 142 yards. Chase Brown, who hadn't topped 47 yards all season, exploded for 108. At one point, Kirk Herbstreit noted the Bengals were averaging 11 yards per carry on 1st and 10 runs. Ouch. Here's the controversial question. Did Tomlin's focus on Flacco distract the Steelers from addressing their own weaknesses? Their pass rush, which had 16 quarterback hits and 6 sacks the previous week, managed just 2 sacks on Flacco. T.J. Watt was virtually invisible until late in the fourth quarter, and the secondary, built to stop Higgins and Chase, was torched all night. The Steelers also failed to force a single turnover from a Bengals team that leads the league in giveaways. That's not just bad luck, it's a breakdown in execution. On offense, the Steelers showed flashes of brilliance. Aaron Rodgers connected with Pat Freiermuth for a 68-yard touchdown, and Jaylen Warren rushed for 127 yards on just 16 carries. But their attempts at trick plays backfired. A botched flea-flicker and a failed tush push on 4th and 1 highlighted their inability to execute under pressure. Rodgers and Tomlin even disagreed post-game about whether the flea-flicker was called, adding to the chaos. Penalties were another sore spot. The Steelers, already among the least penalized teams, committed 7 flags, 6 in the first half. Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr. were repeat offenders, echoing last year's penalty-filled game in Cincinnati. While they cleaned up in the second half, the damage was done. So, what's the takeaway? The Steelers' loss wasn't just about Flacco's brilliance. It was about their own failures. Tomlin's paranoia may have played a role, but the defense's inability to stop the run, the offense's inconsistency, and costly penalties were equally to blame. Here's the real question for fans. Is this a one-off collapse or a sign of deeper issues? Let us know in the comments, and don't hold back.